Nice. Yeah.
Okay, so let's break down MMED now. So what has been happening with this stock? So a lot of people message me about what's going on. I think this is normal. We should be expecting this. We had previous supply in this range or a resistance point. We had one rejection from this level. Now we come up to this level again and we get rejected. It's now certified a supply zone. So this is what we want to work with in order to break above to make higher highs in this chart. We need to work with this supply zone. So another thing we like to see here, I'm starting to notice that this range is where we're starting to see some sort of a demand. It might not be a strong demand, but there's wicks coming from this range. Another wick today, not a large wick, but I want to see this range, this level right here, 485 to $5. I want to see that act as demand. We see one nice wick, two, three wicks in this range. We want to see that reversal come around here. That would certify a nice higher low, and I think that would almost guarantee that we're going to play around in this range until this supply zone breaks and we break over this supply zone. That's bullish. I would love to see that happen on MMED, right? That's what we all want to see. But we know that it's not always going to work out how we want it to work out. So we got to be prepared for whatever situation that may happen and not get faked out or psyched out or get caught up in the emotional attachment to your money while the stock's consolidating, right? So just keep those things in mind. Keep in mind that emotions come into play when you invest. So the best way to keep those emotions in control is to understand what the chart is telling you. So what I want to see from MMED is obviously a reversal right now, but if it doesn't come, I want to see a potential back test of this trend line, because we had this wedge, right? This was our wedge. Now, if we got the breakout. Now, what happens often is it'll break out, but then it might want to retest this trend line to make sure it's now support. If that happens, that would be bullish. If that doesn't happen, then I still am wary and I'm still focused on this demand zone because this was our previous supply, right? Supply, supply, supply. It broke over. We overshot to the downside, and then when we broke over this time, it acted as demand, got bought up, right? So these are all bullish things that we want to see on this chart. Now, for it to come back to this demand zone, we must have it hold here. We must. Or else then I'd start to be thinking about, all right, well, if it doesn't hold this level, then we're in big trouble. But I don't think it'll go that far down. I want to see it hold this level. If not, back test this trend line or demand zone and then get that reversal. Why I still think that's bullish is if it comes down to this range, like, no, dude, the stock's going down. Why is that bullish? Well, you got to think of the chart and what it's telling you over the long term. So if we look here, we have a low point that happened right around in this level, right? So when the stock went and made its higher high compared to this range, it came back down to make a higher low right here. This right here is higher than it was over here, so it's a higher low. Now it came up over here. If it comes back down in this range, we'll eventually see it act as another higher low potentially in this range. So we might get to see something like this, where it basically will come down, right? And then it'll make its reversal around this area and then come back up and then make its way towards previous all-time highs at $6.50 range. So overall, I still think the thesis is very well intact, and actually it would make a lot of sense because it would continue on to this trend line here. Like if we see like a nice bounce, everything's starting to add up. This range looks like a nice area of confluence around 420 to around the 450 range. If we could see if it comes down to that level, we want to see a bounce. So that's the update for MMED. So I still think the thesis is intact, and just be patient on this one. This one is going to have to need a little bit more time, it looks like. Cheers, guys.